We are the Force. We are MC.
It's a beautiful evening in the Windy City, Chicago, Illinois, where we come to you from Guaranteed Rate Field for Game 1 of this series between the Royals and the Chicago White Sox. Hi, everybody. Steve Physiak, Rex Hill with you, and there are 3 games left before the All-Star break. Rex, what are the 3 things that you'd like to see from the Royals before that break?
Fizz, let's get a series. Okay, one time, let's get a series here. I mean, it's been a while since May, but look, it's possible if they can just execute in the 3 areas. You got to have it. No question, starting pitching. Let's see if they can go 6+ innings. That would be nice, because you're going to give that bullpen a chance to come in and get for the pin to win. You got to have that. The bullpen's been fitting the pieces together in the back end of that pin, but you know the one thing that you're missing, you got to have runs. That's right. You got to get those runs, especially late in games. We don't have any trouble this year jumping out in front of teams early in games. We have to finish them off, Fizz. That's what I'd like to see, and I hope it happens.
And like you said, you'd like that starting pitcher, Brad Keller, to be stellar. We'll have his story when we come back. Keller will make his 8th start of the year, and he has been a solid rookie.
He's been a bad Brad Keller. I mean, that's bad and good. How about him? Leads all rookies in ERA. He's on top of his game, Fizz. You know what I like? He's not afraid. He challenges guys. He pounds the bottom of the zone. 2 and 4 seamers. Oh, and by the way, he's induced 12 ground ball double plays. He throws the ball down where they hit it on the ground. He's been outstanding.
He really has pitched with conviction. And Keller will be opposed by James Shields of the Chicago White Sox. Royals and White Sox. First pitch is soon. Kansas City's offense beginning to pick things up, averaging almost 4.5 runs per game the last 8 contests. They hope it picks up tonight at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago. Next. -91 Steve Physiak, Rex Adler, Joe Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery with you. Game 1 of a 3-game series. Royals and Chicago White Sox, and Kansas City's Whit Merrifield will again lead things off, followed by Jorge Bonifacio and then Mike Moustakas, who belted 2 home runs in that final game in Minnesota.
Hopefully these guys can be up to the task against their former friend, or they still friends, but former teammate, I'll say, James Shields. The opponent's hitting .233 off of James this year. You know, he's not a strikeout pitcher like he once was. He's a little bit more finesse, but I can tell you that he's going to make some mistakes in the middle, and you can't miss him, especially with runners in scoring position. You get the key hits. You see that .561 opponents slugging with runners in scoring position. That's second worst in Major League Baseball. So when you get them on, get them in. Defensively, the White Sox this year, they're -50 in defensive run saves. That's 27th worst out of 30 teams, and they have the most errors in the American League with 70, not having a good fielding season.
No, they have really struggled this year. The umpires will be Tim Timmons, Adam Hamari at first base, Chad Whitson at second base, and the crew chief is Mike Winters, and he is at third base. James Shields 3-10 this year with that 4.5 earned run average. He's in the mound facing the team that he helped get to the World Series in 2014, then moved around in the final season now of a 4-year, $75 million contract he signed with the San Diego Padres prior to the 2015 year.
He's checking to see if the ball's round right there. See that?
It is.
See that look he gave it?
So he'll throw it to home plate. And Whit Merrifield will take strike 1.
He humped up a little bit on that first pitch of the game, 94 from Big Game James.
Yeah, he's almost become a crafty right-hander.
Yeah, and that's what you do late in your career. Mid-30s or later, you're going to learn how to use different arm angles, change speeds on the pitches. He's using his changeup more than he did even last season. He's finding more confidence in that pitch.
Merrifield to right field, but it will stay up for Larry Garcia, who makes the catch, and that's the first out. When you talked about Shields losing his velocity, although he did start 94, 93 miles an hour with that fastball, dropping that arm angle, he used to come right over the top with that outstanding changeup, which was a good 10 to 12 miles an hour slower than his fastball.
Yeah, and you know that's what he does. You know, Donnie Cooper is an excellent pitching coach, long-time White Sox pitching coach here, and he had nothing but good things to say about James. As far as, you know, he's towards the end of his career, but he thinks he has a couple of years left, James Shields, to add. James wants to continue to pitch.
He's now 36 years old, out of Newhall, California. There's Donnie.
Coop told me today that James Shields is in the metamorphosis of his career.
So he's making that transfer from power pitcher to
that's a big word.
Guiley, wily right-hander.
That's a big word for he and I. But he's got a couple more years left in him after this year if he'd like to pitch.
Bonifacio down in the count, came in hitting .293. It's a 5-game hit streak. Foul out of play, and it'll stay 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You know, James, he's going to give you something to hit. You're going to get 1 or 2 pitches per at bat. You just got to put him in a certain zone. Don't necessarily look for a certain pitch, because a guy with 5 pitches or even more, you can't count on what's coming to zone him.
He has allowed 15 home runs this year in almost 120 innings.
But he used to be a fly ball pitcher. Now he's a ground ball pitcher. The importance of striking out guys is not there. He just wants to get outs.
And again, Bonifacio hangs around by flicking 1 foul down that right field line. Talking with Terry Bradshaw, our hitting coach, before the ball game about Jorge and his development. He really likes him. He said it's just a shame he missed half the season. It would have been great to have him really finding that consistency midway in July. There's a strike on the inside corner, perfectly located. That is strikeout number 1 for Shields.
Yeah, but you can't do anything about the past. He's here to develop now. That's a little, looked like a little slider that didn't break a lot. Narvaez, the catcher, helped him out a little bit and pulled that in. But he's got 41 at bats. He's got a lot ahead this season, and hopefully he'll continue to make his improvements.
Now, Moose, we talked about the 2 home runs he hit on Wednesday in Minnesota, numbers 18 and 19. Fortunately, the Royals would lose 2 of 3 in Minnesota and are now 4-23 and 4 in their 31 series this year. Here is Arcia drive to success, and he drove 2 of those out. This was the one in the 9th inning that blasted off the facade well over 400 feet to right center field.
Yeah, buddy, he hit off the scoreboard. And he's done it off of James Shields before as well.
Yeah, he's done a lot of damage against the Chicago White Sox. He has more home runs against this team than any other, 20. And Mike is 6 for 13 against the Chicago right-hander. High popper right side. Abreu chasing and has room, and the Royals are down 1-2-3 in the first. We'll see Brad Keller when we come back. And Makata will lead things off. He'll be followed by Yolmer Sanchez and then Jose Abreu. And Abreu was voted in by the fans. He's the first White Sox to start in the All-Star game who was voted in since 1996 at Frank Thomas. And he will face Brad Keller.
Good for him. There's Brad Keller. Opponent's not doing much off him. 238. Just one home run. It's fantastic. He's keeping the ball in the yards because he challenges guys down. The key for Brad Keller, keep him grounded. At 58.6% ground ball rate, second best in Major League Baseball. Love his 4 and 2 seamers. He pounds down, especially after what the Sox did against the Royals, hitting 15 home runs off him. Keep him down.
Only Marcus Stroman of Toronto has induced more ground balls. First pitch in there, strike one. Makata, good young player, just 22 years of age, out of Cuba. They love his future. They acquired him from the Boston Red Sox in a big deal. Outside for a ball, and both of these teams rebuilding. White Sox came in with 31 wins, the Royals with 26. Good pitch by Keller, advantage his way, 1 and 2. Makata does have power with 11 home runs this year and 34 extra base hits.
Got a nice future, there's no question about it, Fizz. He's a good-looking player.
Yeah, the first time I saw him was in spring training. He hit a home run from each side of the plate.
Well, you know, everyone has stuff to work on. This season, he's been swinging and missing a lot and also taking a lot of called thirds. Way too many for a young man of his stature with his type of talent. And he's learning. It takes time in this business. Very rarely does a young kid come in as talented as you are. He was the #1 prospect in all of baseball. And sometimes it takes a couple years for you to find out who you are.
Just outside, Salvi froze with his glove, hoping to get the call from home plate umpire Timmons. Did not. And outside, ball 4.
Royals forward around the hole on defense behind Keller is Merrifield out there in center field for his 20th start. Excuse me, I mean Escobar is getting his 6th start in center field, and Whitley's got his 20th game at second base. The Royals so far 3rd fewest errors in the American League with 44. They're doing a pretty good job catching the ball.
Brad Keller has to worry about Makata over at first base. This Chicago team runs a lot. They're 2nd in the American League in stolen bases with 70. Makata does not go, and the pitch runs inside for ball 1. Sanchez, a guy you can hit and run with. He handles the bat pretty well. The Royals will play him straight up on the infield, although Moose is in at 3rd.
Keller does a nice job. He gets the ball home fairly quick. Won't be easy to steal off of. Moncada has 9 steals, has been caught twice.
Keller, who usually has very good command, is struggling with it. Walk Makata now falls behind Sanchez 3-0. I don't think Makata is going to be going until it's 3-2.
Well, you know, you never know. That first inning, it's a tester for you. He's never pitched on this mound before. He's having a hard time with command, and so what you do as a hitter is exactly what Moncada and Sanchez are doing here. They're taking pitches, making him throw strikes. You can see Keller, he shook his head. That's a visual sign he's having some problems. Hitters see that.
Makata does not go, and the pitch fouled off. Now I wonder if Yohan will with the 3-2 count. As we talked about, Brad Keller gets a lot of ground ball outs. He has induced 12 double plays this year.
Renteria, manager, he knows all about the numbers. He might be moving Moncada here.
He does go, and the pitch inside, ball 4. Back-to-back walks to open Keller's first. the all-star starter in Jose Abreu.
Keller just looks like he's aiming the ball. He's not throwing the ball. Looks like he's just kind of, you know, out there trying to figure out his mechanics instead of just throwing it. You know, he's pretty simple. 2- and 4-seam fastball, slider change. We haven't seen him walk back-to-back batters to start a game yet. 219 opponent average on the sinker. That's a good pitch, and a lot of times that hitter's going to hit the top of the ball right to the defense.
Abreu, as good as he's been, has been through a slump lately. Royals want to keep him there, and the Royals come inside.
And he's the perfect guy for a lane ball. Lane ball is another word for a double play. He's hit into 14. That leads his team.
And just 2 hits in his last 31 times up to see his batting average drop from 270 to 253.
It's not like him.
Ball slugged to left field. Gordon right there and makes the catch. Back to second base goes Moncada, and there's 1 out. Now Daniel Palka, when we saw him earlier this year in Kansas City, man, he wore us out. He had 6 hits and 11 times up, but that was then, and lately he has been ice cold. Just 4 for his last 38. But when he strikes it, it usually goes. Good power.
You know, he's getting a little dose of second time around the league and how tough it really is. He's a big, strong guy. There's no doubt about it. That's what he's done against the Royals in 3 games. That's a nice season. Those are good season numbers.
You're losing all your papers. The wind's blowing everything on the floor.
Yeah, it's hard to keep my focus up here. The Windy City.
You know better than that.
Yeah, but you know what though, this kid Polka, he's having a good season. He's amongst the American League leaders for rookies, homers. He's 3rd
with 11,
5th in RBIs,
and he knocks one into left field. That's a base hit. Moncada's going to come around. The throw by Alex Gordon, a rather high one, and gets away, and the runners will both advance.
Went with a pitch, usually a power hitter. He's looking to launch the ball, but he's able to hit this ball cleanly. And I thought when Alex caught the ball that he had a chance to get him out, but he just missed with his release point. Had enough, and it was accurate, just didn't quite have the touch. Nick Capper, 3rd base coach for the White Sox, made a good call there.
They say no error, just advancing on the throw home.
They were all moving.
The batter Garcia. Larry fouls it off, strike 1. Keller pays for his mistake, which was walking the first 2 batters, Moncada and Sanchez, and with 1 out, Palka gets him and drives in his 30th run. Another one flicked to left field. That's a base hit, and it will make it 3-0. A double for Garcia.
Yep. Brad Keller, when he's throwing strikes, it's up. That's a slider that, man, he never misses up there. So he's having, obviously, a tough time with his release point and his mechanics. He's just not able to stay down through the ball. He's leaving it up.
Yeah, one of the most impressive things about him in the first half of the season is he was consistently down in that strike zone, pounding aggressive down right at the knees or below.
Yep, you know, I could just read Cal Eldred's lips. He's flying open. His front shoulder's coming up, and that leaves his arm lagging behind him, leaving it up in the zone. It's a mechanical deal. He's like I said, I would imagine that the mound has something to do with it too, being new, and you know, he's first time around the league. Not making any excuses for him. Those are just issues that sometimes the pitcher deals with.
Well, Hud, you made a point earlier. You said it seems like he's aiming the ball. And remember when Danny Duffy said, when I started just trying to throw through Salvador Perez's glove rather than to the glove, that's when my success began. Hey, he had that good stretch earlier this year. Got to be able to command that fastball. Our Kubota power stats. We will show you how hot Omar Narvaez has been since the beginning of June. He's hitting over 400.
You know what, Fizz? He could flat out hit a fastball.
And he does here, but knocks it to Witt. Quick toss, got him just in time. The runner moves to third on the play. That's one of the challenges of playing so deep in that outfield. He was fortunate that Narvaez does not run that well.
Yeah, and you know what else is interesting? You see how Whitley, he had to get rid of it and throw it off balance even. That's a long throw. You're messing with the shortstop throw there. Even that's it's that deep in the outfield, and that's unconventional. We're not used to playing that deep, and you have to have a throw like that. So that's why they work on it in batting practice. They practice out there.
Joel and Monty talked about that in their pregame show about the changes that they'd like to see in Major League Baseball. 2 infielders on the right, 2 on the left, and they have to stay on the dirt.
There'll be some action this winter, I'm sure.
Too short. Mondesi in plenty of time, but 3-run score on just 2 hits. Chicago leads 1, 3-0 Chicago.
Friday night in Chicago, and welcome back right by the Royals dugout. Joel Goldberg down here, and had the chance to talk to Renneria today about his approach with a rebuilding team. And he doesn't use the word rebuilding, he calls it regrouping. But whatever the word might be, a lot of similarities to the way Ned Yost goes about things. He said that, yes, of course, wins matter, but you have to take positives. You have to find victories every day. And whether that means that a certain player is coming off of a good game that he pitched, or a guy switched positions and he's showing improvement, he said, I can come up with a long list every day of something positive that is going on, even at the worst of times. Positivity, we've heard Ned Yost talk about that. Same for Rick Renneria and his staff. And he said having guys on the team, for the Royals, the Alex Gordons, the Mike Moustakas, for him, he's seeing players like Yolmer Sanchez that are a good influence on the younger guys as they come up. So yes, wins matter very much, but building that culture and trying to handle the tough times equally important.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Joel. Now Lucas Duda. And you have to have those guys. And, you know, we were talking about James Shields when he joined the Royals. And the success that the team had, they saw them building 13 and 14. And he brought a certain fire, a certain competitiveness, and also a work ethic.
You're right. And, you know, you need positivity even when you're having a good season. But it's a little bit easier when you're winning.
Yeah, the Tampa Bay Rays were a really awful ball club, and James Shields became really strong with them. Our StatCast powered by AWS.
That's right. This last 100 balls there bat by Lucas that weren't hit very far. That's where they went. Those are the numbers that the defenses get, and some of them play according to them and some don't. Because you want your pitcher to pitch to his strength and not pitch to the defense usually.
Down low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Shields' last start was on Saturday. He lost at Houston 12-6. Prior to that, he had 5 really good starts with an ERA right around 2. That Houston ball club will embarrass a few starting pitchers. Inside, that's ball 4, and that's the first base runner for Kansas City. If the Royals hit a triple in tonight's game, the Kansas City Honda dealers will make a $1,000 donation to the Kansas City Major League Baseball Urban Youth Academy. Here's a guy who got his first triple of the year the other day. Hunter Dozier was in Minnesota. He went 2 for 5 in that Twin Series with a couple of runs scored. Strike 1. Hunter right now at 213.
Yeah, the defense of the White Sox playing him for dead pull. 3 guys on the left side of the infield. Moncada, he's now just drifted a little bit towards second. But you know, the 2 pitches to Dozier were breaking balls on the outer half of the plate. So they're not pitching him in.
And Terry Bradshaw said he is best when he's thinking center to right center.
Yeah, you have to, especially with 2 strikes on him. So you would think the defense would switch around a little bit. But I don't think they have enough data on Dozier. That's the right idea. Just trying to fight it off that way. When you got a guy that's like James Shields, he's, you know, changing speeds and arm angles and stuff. With 2 strikes, you can't be looking in. You see the 4-seamer, curve, cut fastball, change-up, sinker, and he's going to change speeds on all those. So really, that's 8 pitches.
You see that batting average against the curve.
Yep, zone him.
Now a 2-2 count to the Royals first baseman.
That's a pitch. That's a setup pitch for the breaking ball away. Maybe the big curve. 191 average you mentioned on that pitch, that curveball.
In there, strike 3 call.
Like a little cutter.
This looked like the same pitch he threw Jorge Bonifacio when he struck him out looking back in the first inning.
I mean, there wasn't a lot of break on it. It could have been a cutter slider, but I'm thinking that more Or had some cutting type action, slider, whatever.
Yeah, he loves his cutter. And opponent's batting .263 off that pitch. That was the pitch he really fell in love with in Tampa, even though they wanted him to stay with the curveball and changeup combination. Sometimes that cutter can be hard on your arm. Alex takes ball one. Alex got number 6 in Minnesota, going upper deck, right center field. And he waves at the changeup. Ball and a strike.
Yeah, last year, you know, James Shields threw a career low in changeups, just 10.9%. But he's back up to 17.8 this year. He has more confidence in it. He's getting a little bit more action.
I remember talking with him when he was with the Royals about his changeup, and he said he throws it harder than he does his fastball. A lot of times he says, I'll grunt at the end to let him know that the fastball is coming, and then that it will have that late fade. Much like that one just did.
Yeah. He's got Alex spinning. But you know, one other thing too is Shields' fastball is not as good as it used to be either. It doesn't have the velocity. So when you don't have the same speed, it doesn't set up the changeup quite as good.
Yeah, the separation in his fastball and changeup is no longer 10 miles an hour. It's like 5 to 6 miles an hour.
Right. And the hitters weren't fooled.
Alex goes left center field. Long run for Lamar, and he won't get there. Duda will stop at third base as Gordon is into second base with a double.
Oh, nicely done. Alex with his 10th double, and he went with it. Nice. I mean, that hit the middle of the wall, almost went out of here. You gonna throw me out there again? I'm not gonna spin. I'm gonna stay there and stick it. That's exactly what he did. Lamar with good speed in left field caught it perfectly, or else Duda would have scored.
And that wind is roaring out towards left, so Alex may have gotten a little help from that Chicago Windy City action.
Yeah, but it was struck well. The ball carries this time of year here big time. 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right.
Now the Royals will need a clutch 2-out hit from Alcides Escobar, who has a 7-game hit streak.
Get Keller back in this game here. That'll make him feel good. Toast slab next inning.
That's what he's done during the hit streak. 8 hits and 27 times up. A couple of doubles. A ball and a strike.
Two outs here. You got runners in scoring position. You got to get James Shields. That was part of our keys to beat him tonight. He's given up a .561 opponent slugging percentage. You see the numbers. Escobar's hit him well. Go ahead and hit the gap.
1-2. Almost seems like every single pitch is a different velocity, whether it's 91, then 85, then 81, then 90.
You know, outside of location, that's the second best thing that tricks the hitter. You need locations. That's key for any pitcher at this level.
Escobar to left field. Ryan Lamar still going back right in front of the fence, and the 330 sign pulls it down. The Royals will leave 2. We head to the bottom of the second inning, trailing 3-0. Sign up at mypricechopper.com/saves to save on Aquafina when the Royals get a save. I mean, every little guy wants to get a foul ball. Nothing like that. First pitch fastball is up. Ryan Lamar, the batter. They acquired him on Monday. Claimed him off waivers from the Minnesota Twins, where he hit .263 this year.
He's got nice skills. He's a guy that's got to persevere. You got to hang in there, wait for your turn, and show me what you got. He runs
2-3.
Runs pretty well.
And Moose throws him out.
The MLB.TV All-Star Sale is here. For $39.99, watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. Your subscription includes MLB At-Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live games on your supported devices. Blackouts and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV to take advantage of this sale.
Center field, Escobar drifting back, has room and makes the catch, and Tilson is the second out. And Keller likes this after walking the first two batters in inning number 1, and both came around to score. Very aggressive. And he gets the first 2 outs rather quickly, and our Toyota League leaders, well, fewest home runs allowed for 9 innings. Brad Keller 0.15. He's only allowed 1 home run, and that was struck by Detroit's Jacoby Jones back in the month of April. Only 1 home run in over 61 innings.
That's impressive, a minimum of 60 innings, but look what the body of work DeGrom and Bauer have done. That's really impressive.
Yeah. Now they're veterans.
Yeah, but they've eaten up a lot of innings too, but still in the era of the home run ball.
None in the last 55. Moncada with a vicious swing. Pops it foul. Advantage Keller 0-1.
Had an opportunity to talk with Moncada today before batting practice, and it's the first time I've ever had a chance to talk to him. He speaks good English, and I asked him about his family. Are they all here? He says no, they're still in Cuba. And I said, well, do you get to see him? He says, yeah, with the restrictions, you know, for airline flights, I can go in there now. I go home, so he's able to see him, and that's always a positive thing.
They were lifted recently where a lot of fans can go there now and vacation in Cuba. Go to Havana.
Yeah, you don't
see
even
what that city is like. A lot of history there.
You don't even have to be a fan.
Nope. You can go just because you're a tourist.
That's right. But they've got good baseball there.
Yeah, they do. We'd love to see that island open up. Major League Baseball could gather more talent.
Eventually.
Ooh, good slider. I don't know how he didn't bite on that one.
Well, he's locating better than he did the first inning.
It was right after that discussion he had with Cal Eldred.
That's right where you want to locate.
And he has walked Moncada twice. He usually is a very aggressive hitter. We told you about his striking out 129 times this year. So 3 walks in only 2 innings for Brad Keller. Sanchez has driven in 41 this year. That is a seeing eye base hit. And Moncada will make it all the way to third. Getting that final out. I mean, Brad Keller last start against Boston, first 4 2/3 innings, gave up no runs. And then with 2 out in the 5th HUD, 4 runs allowed, 3 hits, 2 walks. Bogarts had that big double. He does not want to let this game get away from Kansas City early.
No, you know, that wasn't exactly a 2-seam sinker. That was just missed by Sanchez. He got on top of it, bounced it over. Looked like a 4-seamer that was in the middle.
So here is Abreu. Leads the team in RBIs with 51. Lined out to Gordon his last time up. Takes strike one. A lot of talk about trades, that Abreu's name has been mentioned, but they don't think he'll be moved. They want him and his leadership to be part of that growth. There's a one hopper to Witt. They'll go to first, record the out. Keller works a shutout second. The bottom, top of the third we go.
Found a number of Royals fans, and for good reason. Joel Goldberg out here in center field. They've got this party deck right underneath the big scoreboard, and I'm joined by Joe Myers right now, who's executive account director at Inquest Marketing, and they are the guys that handle Price Chopper among many others. And so Fox Sports Kansas City, they've got a big group here, a lot of our sponsors, Joe, and including you. How has this trip been?
It's great. Fox has been wonderful. We've had a great time so far. We're here for a game tomorrow, and we're going to have a great time.
All right, we will credit all of you, or maybe just Inquest, if we can win a couple of games here, because that would be the varying factor. But let's talk about this relationship a little bit, and I know how important your role is, and certainly Price Chopper in the last couple of years. We say the name every day in the pregame show. How has that evolved?
Right. Well, we've had Price Chopper as a client for 10 years now, and they've been a great client, part of the community, and we've joined the Royals this is our second year. Mm-hmm. And it's been a great partnership. It's grown every year. We're involved in the Royals charities, and our customers tell us they want to be part of the Royals, so we wanted to support that, and it's just been a great partnership. The front office has been great to work with, and we've had a lot of fun.
Well, you also have a pretty big name, literally, figuratively, with Salvador Perez. You cannot go into a Price Chopper store without seeing the big Salvador Perez cutouts, and then probably numerous selfies too.
Yeah, no, we've had a lot of fun with Salvi. He's been terrific, and we're have another promotion coming up in a couple weeks here. And he's a great partner. He's a lot of fun, and customers love him, and we're just enjoying the relationship with Salvi.
Well, it's fun to be able to share that personality that we see every day in person and that everyone sees on TV, and then you get a chance to learn that, hey, wait a minute, this is actually the way the guy is.
Yeah, he is sincere. He is what you see is what you get, as you well know, and we've enjoyed it tremendously. And our customers have had fun interacting with the cutout we have in store, so we encourage everybody to go there, participate in the promotion we have coming soon with Price Chopper and Salvi, and maybe we'll see you at the suite with Salvi.
Well, and let's talk a little bit more about Royals charities and your involvement too. I remember last year a lot of folks from Inquest were over at Harvesters. They were getting involved too. So how important is that, sort of the two-way street here?
Right. Well, that's part of the reason we joined the Royals. They've got a great program with their charities programs, and we believe very strongly in working with the community, and Harvester is a big part of it. And I think we'll see you in a week or so, Joel, doing it again for a second year.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. So final question, we're up here. Fortunately, the sun has gone down. I know that you could fry up here a little bit, but how about just being able to be in Chicago? There's a lot going on this weekend, a couple of games, and up here on the party deck.
No, it's great. We're on the fan deck in Chicago, and Chicago's a great city. I think they got Taste of Chicago going on this weekend. We're having a great time. There's about 50 of us from Kansas City, and we're just cheering the team on and hoping for a win.
And I'm just glad that you made it out here, because otherwise I would have had to put your CEO, Brian Olson, on. And
Yeah.
you know, you're a photogenic guy.
Right. Well, I got the draw this year, and Brian was very grateful to send me along the way here. So thank you, Brian. No, he's a great guy. So we're having a great partnership.
Joe, thanks a lot. Keep up the good work. Inquest, Price Chopper, and all you guys that are here this weekend.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, there you go. And they're having a great time out here. And I will say it, as someone that sits in the sun down in the field pregame, once that sun goes down, it feels pretty good.
Thank you, Joel. And James Shields coming inside too much, and he hits Jorge Bonifacio, looked like on the left tricep or bicep. So the tying run will be coming to the plate in Mike Moustakas.
Yeah, that's just the fourth hitter that he's plunked this year. I mean, I just got away from him.
Just above that elbow.
Yeah, we'll see if Moose can make it pay.
Ouch. Left-handers have had a more difficult time with James Shields, hitting 191. Probably that changeup. Ball one. There's the group out in the party porch with Max.
They got the whole
our pre and post game producer in the middle of them, enjoying a little time with our fans.
The whole section up there to themselves.
Moose pulls it to the right side and bobbled by Moncada, and the Royals will have the bases loaded instead of an ending double play.
Well, another part of his game at second base has been the errors. That's his 15th. And they've talked a little bit about maybe possibly moving him to third base, but because he's having issues with his footwork. And you know, he's a versatile enough athlete that he can play third base, but you know that's way too many errors this early in the season. 15.
What did he do wrong that time?
Well, his feet aren't planted; they're moving as he's trying to catch the ball, and he let the ball play him. You gotta have your feet set in a better spot, ready to go.
Now Salvi.
Especially when you're turning two.
Well, if he makes a mistake to Perez again. A big breeze blowing right to left here at Guaranteed Rate Field. Perez 12 home runs. Bases are loaded. In there.
Okay, Salvador Perez does not have to think pull here. He can hit the ball out of the park, any part of the yard here. This is a park to hit. You can hit home runs in. And so when you try to pull a pitch, maybe that's not a pitch in, you hit the ball on the ground. They don't want to stay away from the double play. So think opposite field. Keep your hands in through the ball.
He doesn't bite on that breaking ball low and away. James Shields has allowed 115 home runs since the beginning of the 15 season, second most in the major leagues. Only the Royals' Ian Kennedy has allowed more. In the air, deep center field. Away back goes Tilson. This will score a run, as tagging from third is Merrifield. He will score, and advancing from second to third is Bonifacio. So the Royals on the scoreboard.
Nice job. Salvi was keeping his hands inside that baseball and not thinking to pull it. That's a breaking ball, slider away. It's a good thing. If he had pulled it, he'd hit a ground ball. Yeah, good position, and he's trying to lift. A little bit more barrel, he would have had a salami.
RBI number 39 for Salvador. It makes Price Chopper happy. Oh, there. Duda walked his first time up. First and third, now 2 out. Strike 1. And that'll get away, and here comes Bonifacio with the Royals' second run. So 2 big mistakes in this inning, Hud. One by Moncada on the error, and now a wild pitch to chase home the Royals' second run.
Yeah, Narvaez, he just came up just a tad too late at the wrong time. He was trying to anticipate the bounce, and there was none. Watch him. Shields on the side of the ball. It's a breaking ball. Watch him come up. See, he's coming up with his glove, and whoops, right between the wickets. Bonifacio ready. I like that ready position. The ball crosses the plate beyond the balls of your feet and ready to do exactly that. Score.
Now the tying run is in scoring position where a Duda single could tie this game. Tries to go off speed away, and it's a 2-1 count. Four hits, 2 of them have left the yard. Two and 2. Chicago in a rebuilding time. They've gone through 5 straight losing seasons. It's been 9 years since they were last in a postseason. And Lucas chases an off-speed pitch. Breaking ball down and away. That does it for the Royals, but they come up with 2 and now are within 1 of Shields and Chicago. Lottery. Every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. And by Ford, going further so you can. Here in Chicago, the Royals have come back on the White Sox. They now trail by just 1 run, 3-2 the score. And you got to feel confident because Chicago has not pitched well this year. I know they beat St. Louis 4-0 on Wednesday, which was a rare good pitching performance because the last 12 games Chicago's team ERA is 7.5. This is one of those series, Hud. I think both teams are saying, you know what? We can win a series. Chicago's 30 under 500. The Royals 40 under 500.
And that's exactly what you want to do if you're the Royals. That's got to be your mindset.
Here's Palka. Drove in the first run.
You know, and they had a team meeting today, the Royals did, and I have no idea, and don't need to have one, what went on, but I could imagine it was probably Ned addressing the, hey, let's finish this half strong, at least before the All-Star break. And let's just do what we can do. Don't try to do any more. Just do your job. Pull for one another. That's just what I'm speculating that it was about. It may not have been, but I've been in clubhouses before when it was All-Star break coming, and there was usually a lot of meetings. Even if the team was going good or bad, you need to hear from your skipper. Some of the things, these are young men, you know, hey, be careful what you're doing. If you're out in a lake, if you're in a boat somewhere, you know, you got 4 or 5 days off, be careful. Know that your teammates are counting on you. But we have absolutely no idea what the meeting was about, but usually there's always meetings one of these 2 or 3 days.
Palka stays hot against Kansas City. He's now 8 for 13 against the Royals this year. Against everybody else, he's hitting 200. Can it be like this before an All-Star break? Can it be like you're getting close to vacation? You're not in the race. Do you have a little bit of a letdown? And I'm saying you want to have that edge every single game. But can there be a letdown? Could it be a reminder of just that?
Yeah, no, you know,
focus.
it's about this finish strong here. I know you guys are making plans for the All-Star break and all that stuff.
And you talked about the 3 things you wanted to see from the ball club this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. And that's a focus on the pitching staff to do their job, to get as deep in games as they can. For the bullpen to get situated. And that's
very good bunt. And that is a hit by Garcia. He's a good player.
He is. They got a couple of good players, and you know, Sanchez, the third baseman. You know, those are guys that can do a lot.
And he's not a guy who plays every day, but can play everywhere on the diamond.
Yeah, you see that now? That's just nice. He's not trying to leave the box too quick. He just wants to get it down, and before he runs, and it's perfectly done. He couldn't have rolled it any better.
Narvaez hit one right to the second baseman Merrifield last time up. Royals would mind that here, and a strike thrown. Advantage Keller 0-2. That one bounces in the dirt. Unfortunately, both runners will be able to advance, and that eliminates the traditional double play.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It was a little bit short. But ahead of Narvaez 0-2, it's important that you execute your pitches on this guy. He's a tough hitter. He's been hot. You mentioned it, but look at the break on that. That ball went down, and Salvi, he almost centered it with his chest protector, but it just hit off the side. Narvaez, I told you he could hit a fastball. 40.3% line drive rate on that pitch. That's second highest in baseball. So you can see how
with the breaker.
Yeah, he's not throwing him any of those heaters. One of the reasons Narvaez is so good at it, his bat is level, and all he does is just take his hands right to the ball. He eliminates all the movement, so he just is able to put the barrel right on a fastball. See his barrel? It's just straight up. It's flat.
And that time a breaking ball is whistled into left field. It will score the 4th run for Chicago, and they take a 4-2 lead. So Narvaez stays hot. Well, after you see 2 breaking balls, they went and tried to make it 3 straight.
And the thing is, he's not trying to do too much. He's not trying to pull it. You see how he abbreviated the swing? Head position was perfect. His eyes, he was looking that way all the way.
Keller wants to find out who's going to be covering. Anderson will be difficult to double. Keller has yet to pick up a strikeout. Now would be a good time. This has been a very taxing 3 innings for Brad Keller. Faced 7 batters in the first and 3 scored. Faced 5 more through a lot of pitches in the second inning and left 2 stranded, but 3 straight hits. Still has yet to get an out. 53 pitches to get only 6 outs.
They've made him work. They've been selective too. You got to give White Sox some credit.
Garcia, good speed at third, and the pitch misses outside. 3-2, and I wonder if they would send Narvaez from first base. They don't want to have a strike him out, throw him out, double play.
Yeah, Anderson, he struck out 86 times. That's a high number for him. You could strike him out and throw him out, double play. I wouldn't send him.
He does not go, and the pitch is fouled off. Good battle between Anderson and Keller.
Yeah, and you know what? You said Anderson would be tough to double. He runs well, but he has grounded at 9, so there's a possibility. I think the strikeout would be more important than roll him up.
8th pitch of the at bat coming up. He went. Man, oh man, that is the 87th time he has struck out this year.
Definitely committed. He's in swing mode all the way. So instead of picking it up and trusting your hands, he's trying to juice it. He was ready to hit one a long way, and that ball almost got him in the chin. Ooh, it's a good thing.
You're right. He was like, he had made his mind up that he was going to swing at anything that was close, and that wasn't even close.
It's very dangerous when you commit like that and the ball's up and in on you.
Now Ryan Lamar grounded out to third his first time up. Royals would love that here and get out of it with a 5-4-3, but Lamar is bunting foul. He's trying to surprise Keller as he showed that bunt late. did not have a play on. His third man at third base, Garcia, was barely down that line.
Yeah, Lamar, he's a scrappy type player. He's a more of a leadoff type guy. He utilizes his speed. He's a pesky type player.
Good athlete growing up, football, basketball, baseball, hockey.
Yeah, he did it all.
Michigan. To the right side and through. Garcia will score the 5th run.
Keller definitely up in the zone. You can see that. That ball's belt high. Anybody's going to get to bat on that. And just so happened, Lamar was a little bit tardy on the swing, and he hit the spot perfect there between first and second.
Royals trying to stay in this game, trailing by 3. Keller laboring through his first 3 innings. And everything is up. Usually everything is right at the knees. Brad had pitched so well in all but the last of his 7 starts. First start, of course, they limited the number of pitches. Went 3 innings, gave him 1 run. Then the Angels 4 1/3, 1 run. Then 5 1/3, 2 runs. Then a quality start against the Astros. And 7 shutout innings against the Angels. It's a ball that hits the foot, and man, that hurt.
Ouch.
Ouch.
That did. Yeah, whenever that ball bounces back the direction it came from, that means it was a square hit.
Ooh.
Well, that's a kneecap.
That's flush right off the kneecap.
Yeah, that's a Whitley could tell him how that feels, and they're going to talk about this one.
And you know Tilson wants to stay in. I mean, he missed all of last year because of a right foot, right ankle injury.
Yeah, he's a good action type player. You know, he's puts the ball in play. He was a former Cardinal.
Phil Meyer, who could have been Sunday's starter, is already warming up in the bullpen because the Royals need some length from Keller, and right now 62 pitches to get 7 outs.
Well, Cal Elder before the game was telling me that he expects Brad Keller to do the same thing he's been doing all year, especially from the starting spot. And that is pound down, challenge hitters, and it just hadn't been there for him yet.
They've got 1. That's all they'll get. Man, I thought after Tilson fouled that ball off of his right knee, he wouldn't be able to get down to first base that quickly, but he did.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good news for him, because you foul a ball off your knee like that, that could be trouble. But anyway, Cal was saying that Keller has not had a hard time repeating his mechanics. He's doing a good job with that. So this is kind of a shock for Cal to see this today. But this is all part of the evolution of developing a young starter. He's 22 years old. Going to have games like this. Even though he's made it look so easy, this is the big leagues. We'll have issues like this from time to time.
Yeah, his absolutely best start was just 2 starts ago against the Seattle Mariners, and he suffered that loss. Went 8 innings, worked a complete game because the Royals didn't have to go on defense in that 9th inning. And he lost 1-0 to James Paxton, but just pitched brilliantly. The only run scored on a broken bat single. Fouled off.
Paxton left the game last night out in Anaheim with a lower back strain.
Oh, that'll hurt them in Seattle. Remember, they're only 3 games back at first place Houston in the American League West. Seattle 22 games over 500. Just outside. Moncada has already been up 3 times in 3 innings. 7 men to bat in the first, now 7 men to bat in the third, 5 in the second. They're fouling a lot of balls off, and Brad was saying, why can't they pop them up on the infield? My guys make a play. A lot of 3-2 counts.
Yeah, he's missing up. Might be now might be overthrown a little bit. Still having some issues with his front side flying open.
Yeah, because he's had a lot of 0-2, 1-2 counts, and then all of a sudden it'll be 3-2. And a foul off. He's almost thrown 70 pitches. The next will be his 70th. Not yet through 3. Well, this is one of those games where you don't have your good command, where you have to grind through it, somehow keep your team in the game. Ball 4. I can't remember Moncada as a free swinger ever walking 3 times in a game.
Yep, Ned sees it. Just not there for him tonight.
So Phil Meyer will be coming out of the Royals bullpen. Our Chevy call to the bullpen, unfortunately, is in inning number 3. We'll be right back.
Fun. Pick any Royals game and also get a Worlds of Fun ticket, all at a discount. To learn more, visit royals.com/summerfun.
New pitcher is Heath Villmeyer, working his 5th game this year, a .338 earned run average. His job just to get that final out and get the Royals back to the plate.
Yep, that's his job right here. Just pick up Keller, who had an off night.
Brad just could not locate his pitches, and that usually is his strength.
Sox all over the bases. Gonna make a pitch here. Save those runs for Keller. Villmeyer, good 90 to 93, 94 mile an hour fastball. Sometimes he'll up that. It depends on the 4-seam or 2-seam. It's a sinker. It's got a curve and a change. His changeup has some splitter-like action to it. Might be his best pitch.
Bases loaded again for Chicago. They've had 11 base runners in first 3 innings, and there is a strike. That's one thing Phil Meyer has shown the ability to do. He did make his first major league start Sunday against Boston, taking the loss after allowing 4 runs, 3 earned on 8 hits. 4 into 3rd innings.
Yeah, you know, he's a tough guy. He likes to come in situations like this and pound down.
It's another strike across.
2 strikes.
He's gone fastball, curveball.
He knows how to use both sides of the plate. He's not overpowering, but he also has a quick pitch in him once in a while. We'll see it.
Got it in on the hands of Sanchez. Stays 0-2. This is where the Royals need to do a better job of finishing the Chicago batters off. They've let them back in counts. Get it done right here, right now. There you go. He gets a swing and a foul tip into the glove of Salvador Perez. Chicago leaves it loaded. They do score 2 and are back in front by 3. This is a young man who used to pitch for the Chicago White Sox, David Robertson, now back with the New York Yankees. Founded High Sox for Hope and is a Yankees spokesperson for Wounded Warrior Project and a finalist for this year's Bob Feller Act of Valor Award.
Nice work.
You love to see those guys reaching out and doing things for the veterans.
No question. Love it.
They saluted a guy in Navy intelligence here at Guaranteed Rate Field about an inning ago. First pitch by Shields to Hunter Dozier is low ball 1.
You know, it's great how we honor soldiers, ex-soldiers, men and women at the K. You know, they have a stand up and cheer, and it's wonderful, and everyone participates. But you know, now more and more we're seeing it in every ballpark that we go to, so it's a wonderful thing. Dozier pops it up.
Yeah, Hud, you had a representative, a friend of yours, what, 95 years old, and who's being honored at Kauffman Stadium. He was a yoga participant.
Big John.
In hot yoga.
Yeah, a teacher, and 95, getting up and down off the floor, and really just staying in immaculate condition and taking care of himself, and he was a World War II veteran.
You told me he had the most brilliant Warrior 1 you've ever seen.
It's all good. It was an encouragement.
Sure is. Alex Gordon doubled his last time up. He now has 8 hits, 2 walks in his last 7+ games. There's that changeup again from Shields.
He's going to stay with it. You know, that's what Alex hit for the only Royals hit of the game back in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, they scored their 2 runs on no hits in that 3rd inning off Shields. And that changeup again, so back-to-back floaters, and strikeout number 4 for Shields, 89 in the year. And as you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the hold true moment later in this evening's ball game. Escobar was up with runners on 2nd and 3rd, 2 out, flied out to left field, almost got it out of here, hit it to the wall right in the left field corner, about 325 feet. He needed 330 to get it out. Ball 1. It seems like Chicago's a little further along in their rebuild than Kansas City.
Yeah, you know, it seems that way. I like to using the word, or didn't Renteria say retool?
Yeah,
that was his word that he used. Yeah, I mean,
a reboot.
Yeah, Anderson's been there. This is his 3rd year now at shortstop.
And this is the time of the year, with a couple of weeks before that trade deadline, you hear it over and over. There's a ground ball 3rd. Sanchez throws at Escobar, and that will do it for Kansas City in inning number 4. Fourth inning, Phil Meyer taking over last inning from Brad Keller. Time now for tonight's Sprint Trivia question. Since 2000, HUD, name the only White Sox player to hit a home run in the Major League Baseball All-Star game.
Okay.
Gosh. You know, they've had guys like Paul Konerko. But, you know, for some reason, I don't think it was Paul.
Well, you got to think of who had
you know
the most All-Star
for some reason, I'm
appearance.
thinking it might be A.J. Przinsky.
Frank Thomas. We'll see. Let's put a few together and see if we can get him within 3 strikes.
I try and stay away from the obvious. Or Jim Thome was here with the White Sox for a bit. Fouled off. Yeah, that 2005 team that won the World Championship. They had that great starting rotation. Mark Burley, Jose Contreras, Freddie Garcia, and John Garland. But their sluggers were guys like Paul Konerko and Jermaine Dye. Aaron Rowan was in center field, and Scott Pasednik. Higuchi was their second baseman, if memory serves me correctly.
Yep.
And then Juan Uribe at the shortstop and Joe Creedy at third. Pierzynski was their catcher that year. But for some reason, it just seems like AJ hit a home run in the All-Star game.
Well, if your gut tells you, then go ahead and throw it out there.
I don't think we should. We only have 3 strikes.
What do you mean?
I think we need to discuss it further.
You're pretty convicting.
Abreu knocks one to center field. He'll be going to his second All-Star game.
Hits the ball hard all 3 times up tonight. Mo Lottery replay shows you Philmeyer tried to sneak a piece of cheese on the inner half, and he's able to fight it off into center. Oh,
It's in the dirt, gets away, and another wild pitch thrown by a Royal. Keller threw a wild one. Real Royals really hurting themselves tonight with those mistakes and taking their pitcher and their defense out of a double play opportunity.
Yeah, you know, Salvi just having a rough night of keeping it in front of him. Now, let's see, he tried to do everything right, and that hit his glove. Usually he's going to have both thumbs out to catch it in there, but sometimes you just can't control the bounce, and unfortunately, he hasn't bounced the Royals' way or Salvi's tonight. It's not like he's doing anything wrong back there. This is the luck of the bounce.
Now they got to get the mighty Palka out. Went to Georgia Tech, was a star there, an All-American. Bounced around the minor leagues. Now trying to make it at the age of 26 with Chicago. He's had great success against Kansas City pitching, not so much against others.
Oh, look at him. You know, he's got a good wide base, strong. His hands are in a good hitting position, and he takes him to the ball. He's got a nice future ahead of him. 22 of his 45 hits this season have gone for extra bases, so that's what they count for a DH or a power hitter. How many extra bases do you have? He's got a big swing.
Well, should we go with AJ Pierzynski?
Yeah, I think you should. You've been very convinced that it's him.
How about AJ Pierzynski? That's strike one. Well, then I've got to guess Paul Konerko.
Go ahead. Take it off, Fizz.
Well, I need your advice here.
Well,
we need to have a conversation about this, a discussion. We've got to get to the bottom of it.
Since 2000. That's a long time. It's 18 years. Man.
The only White Sox to hit a home run in the Major League Baseball All-Star game. I'm thinking it's either Jermaine Dye or Paul Konerko. Who else could it have been?
You thought it was AJ Pierzynski.
Well, I did. For some reason, maybe AJ had a double. Remember the great All-Star game that the Royals went deep in, both Hosmer and Perez. Abreu has not gone deep in the All-Star game. He went 0 for 1 in his one appearance. And I was a bit surprised that he had only gone one other time, because he's had 4 straight years where he's hit at least 25 home runs and driven in 100 runs each year. That'll get out of play. Popped up. Mondesi should take care of it. He does, and holding at second base is Abreu. Tell you, these White Sox are up for the challenge today. They have been fighting off some tough pitches, putting the Royal pitchers in a lot of 3-2 counts.
Yeah, they're doing a nice job of being selective, that's for sure.
They had lost 6 straight before winning on Wednesday 4-0 over the St. Louis Cardinals. You know, Hud, today we were talking about the trade deadline being a couple of weeks away, and man, I was reading today where it seems like every single team is in on Manny Machado. We're talking Yankees, Red Sox,
Yeah, every contending
Dodgers,
team.
Milwaukee Brewers, Arizona, Cleveland, Cubs, Atlanta, Philadelphia.
Cleveland, why would Cleveland be in when they got Ramirez? And
Well, they could move Ramirez to second base, and they could put Kipnis in the center field, something they did late last year. As you see Garcia out for the first time.
Look at Philmar coming in throwing strikes. I like how he's challenging hitters. You know, and he's letting his ball move. He's got some good two-seam sinking action, and it's boring in on righties and away from lefties.
Here in Chicago, they've been talking about some of their veterans who might be on the move, guys like James Shields or Joaquin Soria, who's really pitched well the last month and a half out of the bullpen. Swing and a miss. And after Ken Giles was demoted to the minor leagues by Houston, you know the Astros are looking for some bullpen help.
Yep. Still a few weeks left. They're going to size up what's going on and wait, be patient. See who stays healthy.
Narvaez just basically had body language like he was taking all the way on a 1-0 count.
There's nothing wrong with that pitch. That was a perfect pitch right down there. Timmons being a little bit tight here.
Now a 2-1 count.
That was a nice pick by Salvi. Watching now, this surprised Salvi a little bit. You can see, and he just stayed with it. Has tremendously soft hands. I mean, that and the way he picks the ball up off the ground is amazing. It's a natural ability he has.
Chicago, they are a taken team today, even though they came into the contest last in walks. They have walked 4 times in this game, all 4 walks from Brad Keller. But a lot of deep counts. Royals have walked twice. So perhaps it's, like you say, Timmons with a tight zone. One on, 2 out, count 2 balls, 2 strikes to Omar Narvaez, who's 1 for 2 with an RBI in this evening's contest.
Ooh. That was in close.
Seems like every single at bat has lasted at least 5 minutes.
Well, they know who's hot, that's for sure, and Narvaez has been, and so he's trying to do his best to stay out of the middle. Talked about him hitting .455 with 2 home runs and 11 ribbies over his last 18 games, so that's really lava hot.
Ball 4. So 5 walks issued by Royal pitching tonight. My Kingdom for a strike. "13 base runners for Chicago and not even 4 innings." Anderson 0 for 2. This young man still finding himself. He has amazing talent. Still only 25 years old, out of the state of Alabama. He was a former first-round pick. He was always one of their top prospects. But a lot of excitement, but also a lot of errors at shortstop, a lot of swings and misses. But when he connects, he can drive it. Hit 17 home runs last year and 13 already this year. Foul back.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned that he had a league high 28 errors last season. This year he's got 13. I mean, he's.
And a lot of times it's on the routine plays.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what kind of pace that 13 errors is on, what that would be, but he's trying to make some improvements. Good range, has a nice throwing arm, it's a little bit erratic.
Right now around 23, 24 errors he's on pace for. Too many.
Yep.
But he's also on pace for 23 home runs and 37 stolen bases.
Yeah, so you know,
pretty good numbers for a shortstop.
You don't find talent like that
no.
all the time, and you know he's got 13 home runs already this year. Hit 17 last year.
And the American League is loaded with great young shortstops. Two and two. Fouled off.
That's a nice breaking pitch there. So Philmeyer, he's got a good changeup. It has like split finger action where it moves down. It has some pretty good dipping action. He tried to get him there on one.
Another 3-2 count. Anderson had that dramatic opener against Kansas City when the White Sox knocked out the Royals in the opener this year, and Anderson hit 2 home runs, and Matt Davidson, who's not playing in this game, hit 3. Now to play right side. First time a White Sox shortstop had ever gone deep twice in the opener.
Seen a lot of good long counts by the White Sox. Ought to make Todd Steverson, their hitting coach, happy.
Again out of play.
A lot of souvenirs being sent to the stands and the fans in the house here tonight.
Good crowd on hand. They have a fireworks show after the ball game.
Guaranteed rate field.
2 on with 2 out. Mondesi got him, and Philmeyer gets out of further trouble in the 4th. Win. Steve Physiok, Rex Hudler. We're now joined by Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery. Your thoughts on James Shields?
Well, it seems like tonight James Shields has been living on the edge. By that I mean nothing in the middle part of the plate, and that's one thing I remember about James Shields the last couple of years. He was getting hurt oftentimes in the middle part of the play, got hurt by the beginning, got hurt by the long ball. Tonight he's been pretty good with regards to living on the edge, Hud.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Plus, Donnie Cooper's longtime pitching coach has talked about it, how he's changing speeds with every different arm angle. I mean, so he's inventing pitches and really can be a headache for a young team like ours.
Well, you can be a Thomas Edison on the mound. You can kind of invent stuff on the fly if you have confidence in your stuff and you have the experience like he has.
No doubt.
Here's Mondesi, who flied out to right field his first time up. How about your thoughts on Brad Keller, because it was the first time he has not been able to throw his fastball where he wants to?
Part of the process. It's going to be a situation where a young player is going to have to experience the ups and downs of pitching at this level. When things are going well, this is one of the easiest games in the world. When they're going tough, it's the most difficult game in the world, and sometimes the little man up in your head is telling you things that you don't want to hear, and the confidence is one of the things you have to learn how to get over those tough times.
Jeff, knowing how hard you worked at the game, I can't believe you would say there are times where it's easy.
Well, I guess not easy, but it seems easy. I'll say easier.
There you go.
No, Monty and I were talking before the game today about how hard it was to compete at this level for as long as we got to. We were very blessed, Monty. We worked hard, but we had some good opportunities presented to us, and we took advantage.
Yeah, and think back to when you were a young player. You go through those ups and downs, and sometimes the biggest obstacle to get over is believing in yourself, knowing that, hey, somebody's not going to peck me in the shoulder and say, hey, I need to see you in my office. We're going to send you back for a little more seasoning to the minor leagues. But once you get past that stage, then you've kind of proven that you belong at this level, and you can make the adjustments much easier.
Yeah, and I think Keller, Junis, I think these guys are going to be fine. They've got good stuff. They've just got to be able to trust their stuff and hone in their mechanics a little bit better.
Every player, has to go through it. Some seems like they pass the test sooner and quicker and better than others do. But if you're going to stick in this game, you have to get through those those early trials and tribulations of proving to yourself and everybody else you can play at this level.
And also just that statement that you made, believing in yourself even when things aren't going so well.
Well, in Fizz, when coaches, people in other organizations don't believe in you, you still have to believe in yourself, or you'll never get there. Like this young man right here, Paulo Orlando's. He's back. You know, he got called up. Herrera went on his paternity leave, and so he's been a 9-year minor leaguer. He never quit. He's always believed in his ability. He's fighting now to hang on.
Which scorches it foul.
It's just not a tough, especially, you know, when you're in the minor leagues and you're getting older and you're like in your late 20s and you're going, wow, I wonder if I'll ever get the opportunity because my time clock's running out. Well, that's a hopeless feeling.
Right. Keyword's opportunity. Sometimes you can create that opportunity yourself. Sometimes it's presented to you. When it is, you have to take it and run with it.
And Paulo did a couple years ago when they gave it to him.
To the left side, Anderson just does get Witt at first base and 2 out.
Now that's a nice play there. We were talking about his ability. A lot of shortstops are graded on that particular play there. How they can make that play coming in on a speedy runner. And Anderson showed with no trouble getting to it, and then his great arm from the side. Shields was telling him good job.
Now Bonifacio, who was hit on the left elbow by Shields in the 3rd inning and came around to score the Royals' 2nd run. Royals scored both of the runs on no hits in that 3rd inning. Hud, you were a teammate of Randy Johnson with Montreal. He couldn't throw the ball where he wanted to at all. But once he became great, man, when he was on that mound, he had this look about him like, brother, if you're hitting against me, you've got the problem. You're facing me.
Exactly. He waited it out. He couldn't throw the ball to the backstop hardly. I mean, he didn't have a clue where the ball was going. That was in 1988. He stuck with himself. He got traded. He got a break like Monty was talking about. He got an opportunity with the Seattle Mariners, and he worked some with some pitching coaches there. I know Nolan Ryan worked with him some, and Tom House, and some of these guys got his mechanics. He's 6'11", and he became one of the greatest pitchers of all time.
Monty, who are some of the pitchers that you played with that had that kind of mental strength?
Well, I know Brett Saberhagen was a guy that seemed like he was so difficult to beat. I mean, it didn't have to be in baseball. You could try to beat him in golf, try to beat him in table tennis. He's a competitor and he's a gamer. Same with David Cohn, same with Mark Gubza, Kevin Acher. Those were the guys that I remember that when they took the ball every 5th day, they would compete like there was never going to be another game. They were pitching for their baseball life every time they were out there.
In there, strike 3 called, and it may have been the same cut fastball that Shields struck out Bonifacio on. Now he's having a little debate with Tim Timmons. We'll be right back. come in now to the Rams summer clearance event and get the great deal today. And try the $4.99 Jack Spicy Chicken Club combo with toasted sourdough, new from Jack in the Box. Here in Chicago, Steve Physiok, Rex Hudler, Jeff Montgomery with you. White Sox lead at 5-2 going to the bottom of inning number 5. Heath Billmeyer beginning his 3rd inning of work. He has gone an inning and a third, came on to lead Keller in the 3rd to get that final out, and then worked a rather laborious 4th inning facing Brian Lamar to start things in the 5th, who singled to drive in a run. Money, we were talking about pitchers and competing, and the Royals with so many young pitchers, but you brought up some names, and David Cone was one of them, and I remember talking with Joe Girardi when he was the skipper for the New York Yankees, and I asked him who was the most fun you had to catch, and he immediately said David Cone, because he said he was not only extremely competitive, but he was very creative as a pitcher, and he really enjoyed the art of trying to break down a hitter.
Yeah, and I had a chance to talk with David about that. And he said a lot of times early in his career, especially in the minor leagues, he wanted to do some of those kind of more creative things on the mound. Maybe drop down his arm angle, maybe do kind of the little Louis T spin to second base and show the hitter, different moves and different. And they kind of took that away from him. And when he was able to start doing that and really becoming himself, he became a better pitcher.
Lamar gets a base hit up the middle,
but look at this.
Lamar's going to be safe, hustling out a 2-base hit.
Yeah, that's how you impress your team right there, by taking advantage of an extra base. And that's when you cross first base, make the outfielder stop. You watch him go. He's not satisfied with a single. Now he's saying, well, you know what? Maybe he is. He slowed down, and Escobar, I don't know if Escobar bobbled it or what happened, but Lamar just took advantage of it. He wasn't going hard around first base. He almost came to a stop. But obviously he saw something. Looks like Esky had a slight bobble. That's taking advantage of it. Yeah, lifted his head up a little bit too soon.
Yeah, they did give him an error. But the question might be, did he come off the bag at second base and they kept the tag on? We saw that the last couple of years with Terrence Gore, his foot barely coming off the bag, and it was overturned.
Yeah, that's the little pop-up. See, his momentum's taking him up.
Oh, but it's hard to tell.
Was his right foot on the base there on the side? Yeah, that's a tough angle. We might be able to see if his right foot's on the base here.
Witt immediately pointed down that his foot was not on the bag. And smart of Witt to stay with it, keep that tag on the body.
Yeah, the modern day players now, that's what they do with replay. You're going to keep that tag on him all the time. And you don't have to have it down there by his foot. You can have it on his body somewhere. If he comes off the base, he's out.
Looks like this one may be very difficult to overturn.
You're right. It has to be clear and convincing. Safe.
And that's the first error that Escobar's made out there like that, and he'll learn. You don't make errors like that in the infield, but you do in the outfield. You're a slow roller when you're coming in and you look up a little bit too soon and you don't look the ball in your glove.
So Ryan Lamar 2 for 3 in the game. Corners in, thinking Tilson might be bunting, but he's swinging away and he takes ball 1. Tilson is flied to center field. reached on a fielder's choice.
Seems like the Royals pitcher's really tentative on filling up that strike zone tonight. Pitching behind a lot.
Yeah, for whatever reason. The White Sox.
We've seen a lot of 0-2 counts, 1-2 counts become 3-2.
Yeah, you know, the Sox, you know, they're 10th in the league in hitting with a 242 average, so it's not like they're facing the Astros or the Boston Red Sox.
That's the 6th walk by Royal pitchers tonight. And catch baseball's biggest stars for the unforgettable show from the nation's capital. The Major League Baseball All-Star Game Tuesday at 6:30 only on Fox, or stream it live on the Fox Sports app. Salvador Perez will be representing the Royals for the 6th straight year. Jose Abreu will be going for Chicago. There is Salvi wearing number 13 on Friday the 13th. Maybe that's why it's difficult for the pitchers to throw strikes on both sides. We've had 8 walks, 6 unfortunately by the Royals. And Moncada is up for the 4th time, and we're only in the 5th inning.
I think what happens a lot of times, younger pitchers particularly, they get a little, maybe pitching a little backwards, and they are throwing that, like that 1-ball 2-strike pitch when that's a no ball no strike count, and they're getting themselves behind, and then they have to come back and use more to the plate. That's when you get yourself in trouble.
Chicago has always been a free swinging team. I don't remember them being this patient in years, and particularly this young man came in with 31 walks and 129 strikeouts, and he's walked all 3 plate appearances. Low. No one up in the Royals bullpen. Phil Meyer right now at 51 pitches, but remember, he went 4 1/3 innings in that start last time out. Steve Reich. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I was kind of thinking maybe Phil Meyer may have had a chance to pitch on Sunday again had he not been needed tonight, but obviously somebody else will be taking the hill on Sunday now.
In there, strike 3 called.
Fans, head to the K on Saturday, July 21st, as we honor the Royals fan favorite with the Amos Otis bobblehead giveaway. Presented by KCA. The first 20,000 fans in the gate will receive the bobblehead before watching the Royals take on the Twins at 6:15. Tickets available now at royals.com/promotions.
He was one of my favorites. Number 26. Man, did he play center field. What an outfield that was, with Otis in center, and Willie Wilson had just come up to put him in left field, and had Al Cowens in right. On the hands of Sanchez, fouled off. Yolmer has been on twice with a walk, a run scored in the first, a single in the second inning, and then he struck out swinging with the bases loaded in the 3rd.
We're talking about Amos Otis. I never had a chance to play with Amos, obviously, but got to know him a little bit the last few years in fantasy camp. To hear him and Willie Wilson talk about some of the stories in those days when they were canvassing that within Royal Stadium outfield.
Up the middle. Mondesi touches second, throws, and there's the inning-ending double play. And this is number 20 on the year. Houston with a 3-0 lead over the Tigers, and Bregman will be competing in that All-Star Breaks Home Run Derby, facing Kyle Schwarber. Speaking of home runs, here is Mike Moustakas, and this is our Sonic Slam inning. And Gary Duran from Platte City, Missouri, should be a little excited. The 3 power guys coming up with Moustakas 19 home runs, Perez with 12, and Duda with 7.
You know, I remember the 2015 home run derby when Todd Frazier was in Cincinnati.
By the way, if the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, Gary will win $4,500. And if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Gary, you get $25,000.
Well, this could happen.
Yeah.
Easily right here. Talked about James Shields giving up 15 home runs this year. Moose has 19. Make it 20.
Not deep enough. Tilson takes care of Mike. 1 out. And Hud, you were talking about Todd Frazier. That was a special moment because it was in Cincinnati.
Yeah, so Bregman is in the Derby here in 18, and but they're not.
It'll be Washington D.C.
Darn it! I was thinking about Harper. Harper has a chance to be
Yes.
rock star there. That's going to be exciting. The Derby's always fun, but you know the All-Star game. How about the American League All-Star outfield? Trout.
What was the most impressive show that you saw? For me, I think it was Josh Hamilton.
Oh, in that Derby he
Yeah.
hit. It was impressive.
The one I'll never forget was Ken Griffey Jr. in Baltimore hitting the ball off the warehouse.
Yeah.
Yep.
Salvador Perez with a line drive to left. That's a base hit. So he is on. And Gary Duran, if he had got the back underside, that might still be traveling. What were your favorite memories about the All-Star game?
Just being in a locker room with those guys that you play against on a daily basis and have a chance to get to know them a little bit better and put a uniform on and go compete with them. The home run derby was a spectacular, but just having guys like Paul Molitor, you know, as your teammate, and some, you know, getting to talk about them when they're on your team, and Kirby Puckett and Cal Ripken, just some of the greats of the game. When you're competing against them, especially pitcher versus position player guy, you don't really want to get to know them that well, you know, on the day you're playing against them. But when you have them as a teammate, it's a little different story. And that's what I really took away from those opportunities, was to get to know them a little bit better and almost become friends.
Yeah.
Bonnie, what was it like to sign all the memorabilia? I mean, I heard that there's a lot of that going on. Do they have like a whole nother room of stuff where you're supposed to go sign?
You sign autographed, you sign merchandise and memorabilia for at least a good 2 or 3 hours.
Wow.
I mean, literally dozens and dozens of items for all the sponsors and you know, all the you know, people who have things there to, you know, to be signed by the All-Star teams.
I bet it's an honor. Now, Monty, is your signature, is it legible? Can you read yours, or is yours
No.
kind of scribbled?
My name's too long. I gotta put the doctor's signature on there.
There you go. So if I got me an All-Star ball when you were on the All-Star team, I'd have a hard time picking out your name.
You could read the Jeff part, and you knew it started with an M. You got to figure out the rest.
There you go. All right.
Duda swings and misses. The count is even now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Both of my memories are about Kansas City. In '73, I was at the All-Star game, and my dad got tickets from his company that were near the National League dugout. And you know, as an American League fan, you're just thrilled to see any National Leaguers, but to see Willie Mays come out of the dugout and just swing the bat in the on-deck circle, I thought that was cool. Ball hit in the air to center field. Tilson should reach it, and does, and Perez back to first base. And the other one was being at the 2012 All-Star game in Kansas City, and the pageantry, the way they dressed up the stadium, it was all filled, and I was sitting with my brother-in-law Steve Armbruster, who had also been to the '73 All-Star game, and we were sitting there, and you know the difficulty that the Royals had through the years from '85 on. And I said to my brother-in-law, this is what it's going to be like in a few years when we're competitive, when we're in the playoffs. And sure it was. I thought about that in 14 and 15 when the place was packed in the madhouse and we're winning.
I think that the 2012 All-Star game started all that. I mean,
I think you're
that
right.
was a big boost for the town, and you know it was just our first year, but it was exciting to be a part of that. Just
it kicked off the party.
I think so,
because we had that event to look forward to in 12 and 13. Remember the last at bat of the season, grand slam, walk-off home run, and just like, hey, we're moving in the right direction.
Exactly.
10 games over 500, you could see it coming. It was building.
And Kansas City is a baseball town. From the Blues to the Monarchs to the A's to the Royals, they love their baseball.
Hey, but if you remember the last game of the 2012 season, we had Mr. Glass up in our booth.
Yep.
And he rarely makes appearances on the TV, and he talked about this. Now is the time to support Dayton with the resources that he needs to move forward for a championship team. And I remember driving to the airport the next day, listening to the radio stations about how excited they were. Did you hear Mr. Glass talk about, you know, how excited he's moving forward with his team, and you could just feel the energy building. It was starting to happen. And then they traded Will Myers in the offseason, got this guy right here, James Shields, and then started moving forward. You could feel it.
Well, there were two critical trades. One was Zach Greinke to get Lorenzo Cain and Alcides Escobar, and the other one was Myers and Montgomery and Jake Odorizzi for Shields and Wade Davis, the silent assassin, as Shields used to call him.
Yeah, well, this was in the time frame we were talking about right here in 12, and when it started moving in the offseason at 13.
But think about that process. If we say it kind of the party started in 2012, it took you until 2015, you know, good 3 or 4 years, and that's just part of what you have to go through, and that's what this group wants to do at some point in their futures. Get that party started again.
Yeah, both the White Sox were talking about that, and even Ned Yost was talking about that. And Ned was saying, hey, we had a great draft this year. 5 of the top 58 picks. They were all college pitchers. And as a matter of fact, Dan Lynch, who was our competitive balance pick in between the first and second round, he was promoted to Lexington today and pitched very well. 5 innings, 2 runs allowed. So those are the guys you want to see build with some of the hitters we've been hearing about, the Sully Matiases, who will be in the futures game, and Khalil Lee and Nicky Lopez, and you group them together and they have success and they learn how to win, much like our group we're talking about learned how to win. But Monty, you're right. It comes from the top, where management, where the Glass family is patient with Dayton Moore's plan, and the Royals stay with it. That's the discipline. Here is Dozier with a long drive to deep left center field. Tilson at the wall, has room to pull it down. We head to the bottom of the 6th, trailing by 3. David Lazo. He loves Royals baseball, and sitting with his lovely wife there, enjoying the game. David, way to go. You are a Pepsi fan of the game. Well, it's time to revisit that Sprint trivia question. Who's the only Chicago White Sox player to go deep in the All-Star game since the year 2000? We guessed A.J. Pierzynski. We were wrong.
I think Paul Konerko was an All-Star for 4 or 5 years at least.
Abreu with a drive, and that is long gone. Well, he will be going to the All-Star game, and now gives Chicago a 6-2 lead over Kansas City.
You know, he's been all over the ball all night. He lined out to left field, hit a hard ball to the second baseman, hit a base hit to center on the line, and now this homer. So he's breaking out. And he's able to take advantage of this center cut right down the middle. 13th on the season. Monty, you think Paul Konerko is a good guess?
I would throw him and Jermaine Dye into the mix.
Okay. What is it, Paul Konerko? Oh, it's our Ram drive of the game right here. That wasn't a drive too. It's 13th. Good shot.
For Abreu, number 13 this year. It's our Chevy call to the bullpen. Tim Hill sprinting in. And the Royals take out Phil Meyer, put in Tim Hill. He's pitching in his 39th game this year.
Tim Hill going to give that unusual sidearm look. Almost the riser from down under.
Yep. ERA a little bit too high for him. You know, he's working. He's learning too. He's another one of those young pitchers that's figuring it out, Monty.
Yep.
He's got some good stuff. A little two-seamer, slider, changeup.
Game of adjustments. I think early on in the season he was a new commodity. A lot of guys have not seen him. Maybe making some adjustments. Now it's time for Tim Hill to adjust accordingly.
That was out over the plate. He's fortunate that Palka didn't get it. Palka, good game. 2 for 3 with a pair of singles, 2 runs scored, an RBI. He was 4 for 38 coming in, but all 4 hits were home runs. And he waves at that offering, and now down in the count, 1 ball to 2 strikes.
That's where you want to keep it. Good spot.
spot. Dozier will take care of it right near the bag. 1 out. Well, we had that trivia question about Chicago White Sox since 2000. They've had 1 player hit a home run. We have guessed Pierzynski. That was strike 1. So how about Paul Konerko? Strike 2.
Hud, I can't believe you haven't thrown one dog out there.
Lance Johnson, no, he was before 2000. I wanted to. He's one of my favorite answers. Him and Warren Cromartie, who's been out of the game for a long time. I mean, how long did Big Frank play? You know, he was an all-star. Frank Thomas. Who was the guy you mentioned, Monty?
Jermaine Dye.
Ah.
I know he hit some big home runs on the big stage. I don't know if he did it in the All-Star game.
I want to know how many years Paulie was an all-star.
Well, Jim Thome was here, remember, 4 years. There's a lot of home runs from Jim.
He's going in the hall here too this year.
Yep.
The guys in the truck might like to make it a little less obvious.
I know. That's what I've been thinking.
Monty, you get to throw out the last name, and it could be the winner. Go ahead.
Magli Ordonez.
I like him too.
Another long drive to left, and that one will leave the yard. Larry Garcia having himself a night. He is a triple shy of the cycle. Doubled in the first, singled in the third, now has homered in the 6th.
Garcia, he hit that a long way up in the air. He got under it.
And that wind we were telling you has been blowing out towards left, so it got a little help.
Location of that pitch was about belt high, allowed him to get those arms extended and put that swing on it.
What was up?
Leori Garcia with home run number 4 this year. 3 RBIs in the night, now 20 for the season. Okay, Monty, you throw it out here.
Go ahead, Monty. Give him your gut feeling on who the answer is.
Well, I'm going to go with my former teammate Jermaine Dye.
Okay.
Strike 3.
I thought all of our guesses were legitimate.
Magli Ordonez.
Monty liked
we
it.
suggested it was 2001. That's a long time ago.
I know. Way to go. Monty had a good feel for it.
Boy, was he a good hitter.
Yeah, he was. And he went to Detroit.
Yeah. It just seemed like if you made a mistake in the middle of the plate, he hit it hard every time. Foul off.
What I remember about Maglio Ordonez is when he came up with the White Sox, a young hitter. I think he's going to be one of those guys that's going to be okay early, then you're going to figure out ways to get him out, but he just kept getting better. How do you remind me of a former teammate of yours, Tim Salmon? When I first saw Tim Salmon, I thought this guy's going to have holes. People are going to learn how to get him out, but same thing, never got him out.
Had a nice career.
Didn't he finish with 299 home runs, Hud?
I believe so.
Narvaez, it seems like every time he's been up there, it's been a 3-2 count. White Sox trying to win game 1 of this 3-game series. They lead it 7-2 here in inning number 6. Mondesi, long throw. Got him. Plenty of. And he has some kind of arm. Sunday on Fox, Pogba, Mbappe, and France take on Luka Modric and Croatia in the FIFA World Cup final. Coverage begins Sunday at 9 in the morning, or stream it live on the Fox Sports app. That has been a sensational World Cup.
Monty, sorry about the English.
I know my Brits went down.
I know.
It's okay. I thought they had a real good chance.
I think a lot of people wanted France against England for like the 10,000th time in the last 2 millenniums. But those countries have never really cared for each other unless there was a world war. Then they helped each other out. Here's Tim Anderson. But you know, it's plays like that by Mondesi that show you what kind of player he can be.
He's showing me more and more frequently what kind of player he can be, both with the bat and with the glove. We know he's got wheels. We know he's got all the tools. Starting to put it together a little bit.
Yeah, I like some of the plays that we've seen recently.
Flare to center field. Escobar will not reach it. That is base hit number 12 for Chicago.
Let's go back and look at this play here by Mondesi.
He got him by plenty.
Yeah, inside out swing, catches it, gathers himself, taps his glove, and throws right over the top. Got him by plenty. He's free and easy, has a loose arm angle. It's very, very loose and fluid.
You know, I was talking with Terry Bradshaw about him and about, they always talk about quick twitch muscles. And he says Atta has those, but sometimes, and he's told him this, he said sometimes you're too quick. Sometimes you just got to let the ball come to you and not try and go grab it out of the pitcher's hand and hit it.
So they call him Atta. Okay.
Well, that's what his friends call him back at the Dominican. And we asked him, can we cut your name down to not so many syllables? And he said, well, my friends call me Atta.
Atta, baby.
Exactly.
That's good.
But that, now that you brought that up, we'll see some signs.
Atta,
baby.
I know, Atta.
Close enough. Ryan Lamar, a couple of hits in this game. But Terry Bradshaw was saying once Mondesi slows the game down, lets it come to him, and also swings at his pitches, then we're going to see that dynamic potential blossom.
Key is health.
Yeah.
If he can just continue to stay healthy, he'll get better, improve up at this level.
Our University of Kansas Health System injury report. Nicky Delmonico on the 10-day disabled list since May 19th. Fractured right hand. Currently on rehab assignment at Birmingham. Royals have 2 starting pitchers currently on the DL. Kennedy and Jacob Junis. Fouled off. White Sox 7 runs, 12 hits. The Royals with 2 runs on 2 hits. It was good to see a couple of Royals playing well in the AAA All-Star game last night. Trevor Oakes, 1 shutout inning. Frank Schwindel, single and a double. 2 runs scored. 2 runs do score for Chicago in the 6th. Thanks, Monty, for joining us.
You bet.
For baseball season, membership includes a Blue Crew jersey, flat bill snapback cap, drawstring bag, 2 compression sleeves, and 2 home game ticket vouchers, and much more. Membership is just $30. Sign up now at royals.com/bluecrew. They're ready.
Nothing like kids.
Ah, Dad's got a smile on his face there. He's pumped. She's a little tired, but that's okay. But her brother, he's ready to go. So, Dad, let's go get another hot dog.
I'm going to go see my granddaughters at the All-Star break.
Sweet.
Of Michigan. Here's Alex Gordon. 1 for 2 with a double. Shields now working the 7th inning. Think about James Shields. He will compete.
You know, he's in his 12th year, and we were talking about, you know, he asked Monty a couple of questions about pitchers that were real, you know, gamers and tough guys. He's got to be one of them too, James Shields.
Yep.
That's for sure. You know, world champion, also won a World Series game for the Rays, their only game in their franchise history. Beat the Phillies in 1 game.
And, Joe Madden said he was the guy who set the Ray way. He said he set our tone. He had an edge, competitive edge.
Yeah, he's done a lot this time.
To center field, and Tilson will make the catch, and there's 1 out. We were talking about the AAA All-Star game. Trevor Oakes, 1 shutout inning, and he was able to get his breaking ball and sinker down. Get the force there, and the double play.
Yeah, you notice how he let that ball go too. He wanted to make the play on it. He let it go.
And here's Frank Schwindel with a single and then a double. You know, he has some off-balance swings, but that ball just jumps off his bat.
Frank the Tank.
Flat hit.
That a way. It's a way to represent.
Yep.
Those are special games. Fizz, the only All-Stars I could ever make were minor league All-Stars. I wasn't even on an All-Star ballot in the big leagues.
You could write your name in. I did one time.
And my mom did too, but that was it.
You had 2 votes. Me and your mom. Sully Matias, he'll be in the Futures game. The young man who I believe he might still be 19. Yeah, he's 19. And I saw him being ranked as the best power hitter of the international players in the Futures game. Leads all minor leaguers with 26 home runs.
That'll get you some attention.
Yep. Swung on and missed.
Where is that?
Shields strikes out Escobar.
Big.
That is strikeout number 7.
Slow bender. That's that curveball that league's only hitting 191 off of. That was even slower than 78. That's the average on that pitch. That was in the 60s. We talked about him changing speeds on all of his pitches now. That's what making him a successful competitor here with the White Sox.
You know, we were talking about the minor leaguers, and I earlier said that Dan Lynch was a competitive balance pick. No, he was our second pick in between the first and second round, our third overall. And he pitched very well tonight for Lexington in Lexington's 3-2 victory, giving up 2 runs in 5 innings of his first outing with that ball club. There's a base hit, and Mondesi is on for the first time. He's 1 for 3. The competitive balance pick, Chris Bubich, who pitched last night for Idaho Falls, pitched well. 1 run in 4 innings in the Chuckers 6-4 win.
Breaking ball stayed up. He's able to get to it, man. He timed that nicely. That's perfect. A little hand, take your hands back just a little bit, come right through. James Shields, just his 3rd hit tonight he's given up.
Merrifield reached in the 3rd inning on a walk and came around to score. Gets one in the gap. Mondesi could score with his speed. And there's a base hit to right field, and Mondesi will turn second and put the brakes on, respecting the arm of Leori Garcia.
And down by 5. That's smart. Don't need to force yourself into an out there, down by that many runs.
So Merrifield has hit in 13 of his last 14 games. James at 103 pitches. And now he'll get together and talk with his infield and his catcher Narvaez, as they'll discuss Jorge Bonifacio, who he struck out twice.
Fans, join us in celebrating this special season of Royals baseball with the next T-shirt and 50 Seasons shirt series presented by Charlie Hustle. Get the final shirt in the series on Monday, July 23rd, featuring everyone's favorite hot dog derby contestants, ketchup, mustard, and relish. Purchase your theme ticket today at royals.com/theme tickets.
Last time I checked, Relish had like a 1 victory lead over Mustard.
It's been a good call, tight call this year.
This likely will be Shields' last inning, but in case he has difficulty, well, they have a left-hander warming up in the bullpen, probably for Moustakas. Check swing low. Both times Bonifacio struck out, it was looking. It was on that inside cutter. Fastball right around 90, 89 miles an hour.
Nice
slight cut.
Yeah, nice little parting gift over the wall would be nice and get them Royals back into the game.
Shields wanted the call, didn't get it from Timmons.
Yeah, he just said he was supposed to swing at that. I could read James Shields' lips. That's exactly what he said. He was. That's the one designed to swing him out of the zone. Now 2-0, he's got to come in there. And he knows he's going to have to take a chance. And hopefully Bonifacio can get a hold of one. He hadn't hit a home run since he's been activated. He's due.
A low strike there, right at the knees. He didn't give in.
No, that was a good little breaking ball there, a little cutter.
Fouled off. Came with the same pitch. Same pitch he struck him out twice on looking, and this time Bonifacio, he's hacking. He's not going to be going down looking. Two on, two out. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Shields nods yes. And the runners were going, and Bonifacio fouled it back.
Slow breaker. It's a tease and curve now. So I'm throwing in the 60s.
Well, the Royals aren't waiting for the 3-2 count to go. The runner's going. If Bonifacio just shoots one up the middle, he could score both Mondesi and Merrifield. A lot of room in left center field. Down the line. Mondesi will score. Merrifield to third. They're going to send him home as well. And he will score, and Bonifacio comes through with a 2 RBI double.
There's a big hit with the runner in scoring position, just like we talked about. And that probably will give James Shields a nice parting gift. All right, they're trying to come inside on him. James Shields been pretty good with his spots tonight. Missed there. Bonifacio got him. All right. There's a hit with a runner in scoring position, an extra base hit. Talked about the .561 opponent's slugging percentage with runners in scoring position and to open the show, and they got him. Not more. They need some more, though.
Royals have cut it to 3.
That's all that he gave up, but that was a timely one. He's able to smack it down the line for his fourth and fifth RBIs on the season.
And Rex, we had talked about he took those pitches for strikes, strike 3 2 times, and he was determined not to go down looking.
Loved it.
And Shields kept on coming in with that cutter, and finally he got him. So Luis Avilan, who has been really difficult, you see the opponent batting average, he only allows a 196 average to left-handers like Mike Moustakas.
Yeah, it'll be tough. 41st appearance. He's got a big bending breaking ball. Likes to throw the fastball to set it up, though. There's the bender. 6'2", 225. Fastball's pretty decent. His low 90s.
Averaging 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. Mainly comes in to face left-handers. One ball, one strike. Picked him up from the Dodgers, where last year he had an ERA under 3 for the National League champions.
Heads up. Tell you what, the screens in front of the dugouts in the modern game now, what a big difference than, you know, back in the late 90s, 80s.
I wonder how many guys got hurt in there.
Yeah, they had no screens up at all, so you always had to watch the plate, and then if you weren't watching, you would watch your teammates and they would all duck, you know, and it was like you had to really pay attention. Got to protect the players. And now, you know, with all the screens up, they're protecting the fans too. Found out that the baseball hurts people.
And bats too, when they throw that change up and reach for it. Comes out of their hand.
That game's popular. And now the fans, you know,
they're used to it.
At first they were saying, oh, we don't want the distraction. You know, we like to sit over the dugout. Now they're happy. They could get on their phones. They understand. They don't have to worry about those foul balls coming right up the stands on them.
Yeah, I always sat inside where my kids sat. That way I could defend them. Even if I took one right in the teeth, at least it didn't hit the kids.
You didn't get any dental insurance either there. That's good. To use it.
Well, I haven't gone to many baseball games as a fan because we're always working.
Yep. Moose got to wait on that breaker. See if he can get a hanger.
Oh, came too far inside and got him.
Wow. He came way in there on Moose. 5th time he's been hit this year.
So now the tying run will come to the plate in Salvador Perez, number 13, on Friday the 13th.
Okay, now that little two-seamer.
Oh, elbow.
Yeah, that got him on the elbow there. Sometimes that'll hit that funny bone.
So they'll make a change. They want a right-hander to face Salvador Perez. And that right-hander will be Juan Minaya. Inning, a 3-run home run to break a 1-1 tie. Texas would go on to win 5-4.
That's a pinch hit 3-run bomb. Those are hard to do.
Coming off the bench cold.
Better believe it.
Well, Salvador Perez will face this guy, Juan Minaya. Hard throwing right-hander.
Okay, so right time, right spot for Salvi. He got a chance to hit him a 3-run homer, even though it wouldn't be a pinch hit homer.
Salvi has had 2 productive at-bats. Sacrifice fly drove in the second Royals run, the first Royals run, I beg your pardon, and then he had a solid single to left field in the 6th.
Salvi likes that first pitch, and he's facing a guy, Juan Minaya, who's got 91 to 98. Good hard fastball, curve, slider, change. He's got all 4. Pick one out here.
He's pitched very well lately. 19 strikeouts in his last 15 innings and allowing just 3 runs.
He's got good power. Power fastball. Salvi's got some pop too. Make it 13. 13 and 42 would be nice. I like him thinking more to right center. Got a good sacrifice fly here early in this game to center field.
Yeah, this is a hitter's ballpark. The power alleys are not that deep. Popped up right side, playable for Garcia, who will make the catch. That will do it for the Royals. They do get 2 runs on a clutch hit by Bonifacio. That man is Jason Adam, pitching in his 20th game. Has pitched well lately. Hasn't allowed a run in 4 of 5 outings since being recalled from AAA Omaha on June 27th.
You know, I saw him come out of the dugout today for the first time, and he kind of looked around the ballpark. And you know, I remember how that was when you go to a park for the first time, and you're like, wow, look at this place. I mean, they're all new for him, and he's doing a nice job with his fastball. His above average pitch, mid-90s to some upper 90s. Curve change. Let's see if he can continue his pitching ways. He's doing a good job filling up that strike zone.
Pitched in a new ballpark recently at Target Field, first time there, and pitched a perfect 8th inning Wednesday in Minnesota, including striking out Brian Dozier.
Yeah, I like that. You know, he's got a short stroke with his arm, a nice little short swing. And comes right over the top, and he's big guy, 6'4", 220.
He'll face Tilson, Moncada, and Sanchez.
225. you know, just hearing his story about how he's persevered through his injuries, and you know, he had a stint here, he got hit, they gave up a few home runs, and then went back down and had his first child, him and his lovely wife. Look at that breaker. That's a good snapping.
Yeah, I'll probably remember 2018 for many, many years.
Oh, the
Tell
whole
the grandkids about it.
the
Just
whole
all
family.
what you were talking about.
Yeah, the whole family will.
Major league debut. Pitching for his hometown team. Baby. Moose will take care of this. And do a 1 out.
Friday nights, our best spin at the K with Buck Night and summer fireworks, folks. Come out every Friday night home game during the summer and enjoy hot dogs and peanuts for just $1. Stay after the game for a fireworks spectacular right from your seats. Join us for our next Buck Night and fireworks on July 20th when the Royals host the Twins at 7:15. Tickets available now at Royals.com. We'll see you there. A lot of Royals fans here in Chicago.
Moncada's been on base 3 times. Falling behind Moncada 3-0, who has suddenly become a very patient player. The Royals will move Mondesi from the left side to the right with the 3-0 count.
They swung him over.
Dynamic young player. Had a career high 6 RBIs on June 24th against Oakland. Gordon. 2 out. We've got 2 more games before the All-Star break. Tomorrow afternoon, remember, will begin at 12:30 with the pregame show with Joel and Monty. That will be Danny Duffy for the Royals against Reynaldo Lopez for Chicago. Royals still have to make a decision on who they'll start on Sunday, and that will also be a 1 o'clock first pitch start, or 1:15, something like that, against Lucas Giolito. 1:10 start, I beg your pardon.
It's all right. It was something like that.
Precise.
Yeah.
It's after 1.
It's okay, Fizz. Yeah.
Getaway day.
It will be.
Strike in there. How about Boston having their 10-game win streak snapped tonight? Toronto beat them 13-7 at Fenway. Merrifield throws out Sanchez, and the Royals with their first 1-2-3 inning of the night by a pitching staff.
Mr. Adam, good job. Get another inning for that.
Oh, that's
It's
fantastic.
okay. Our team's going to come back. That is. That's beautiful.
That is darling. New pitcher is Xavier Cedeno, pitching in his 16th game this year. Cedeno made his 14th scoreless appearance of the season recently and has allowed only 1 run over 12 innings and 15 outings since having his contract purchased from AAA Charlotte.
Yeah, look, this is his 16th game. He's doing well. He's not a real big guy, 5'11", 210, 31 years young, and he's got a good cut fastball with a curve and a change. See if our guys can jump on him here.
Lefty's only 4 for 22 off of him. Right-handers only 1 for 16. 3 infielders right side, 1 in shallow right. That man's Makata. Lucas 0 for 2 with a walk. Chicago has really had a rugged time pitching out of the bullpen. Before yesterday's 4-0 victory over St. Louis, they had an ERA of 9, and Duda goes up the middle for the base hit. Royals need to get 1 more man on to bring that tying run to the plate. Dozier almost hit it out his last time up. Drove Tilson all the way to the left center field wall, almost 400 feet from home plate. But
yeah, had a good swing. Just not enough. A little bit underneath it, just a tad.
Terry Bradshaw was saying, you know, he needs a good stretch. Needs to get that confidence back. Ball 1.
This game will humble you.
Not for the hard times, you wouldn't appreciate the good times as much.
That's a nice little late breaking slider there. Cedeno, no wonder he's having some success. It's either a cutter or a slider. Looked like it had slider break to it.
Left that one up.
Dozier's shaking his head. He knows he could have done more with that pitch.
Inside, 2-2. Once again tomorrow afternoon, pregame at 12:30 with Joe Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery, and Danny Duffy to match up against Lopez. Good discipline. Full count. Chicago's team bullpen ERA coming into tonight was 4.44, third highest in the American League. We told you of their difficulties lately. Boy, it's like the same pitch every single time.
Yeah, it's a cutter. Coming in on righties, typically left-handers, that have that good pitch there. That's where they put it. Some of them, as they get older and they get more experience, Cedeno's 31. He's had a little bit of mileage. They can backdoor it as well.
But if you have a pitch that's only moving in one direction, you think the hitters eventually would be able to time that better.
It's right, and that's why they use him in short relief.
Whack down the left field line, foul. He's already seen 8 pitches in this at bat. Good plate appearance. Very good.
Saw some pitches. Another opportunity. Salvi had an opportunity last inning to hit one out and tie it up.
Tying run will come to the plate in Alex Gordon.
Here comes Alex.
One of your keys that you talked about that you wanted to see the last 3 games by Kansas City before the break was late offense.
Yeah, you know, coming back and getting in games that they may not have the lead. And they haven't done that a lot this year. I'd like to see it.
Strike 1.
It's a good spot. I noticed Alex moving his hands up. He's not laying the bat down like he did.
Bobbled by the first baseman. They get it to first in time. The runners will advance. Now with 1 out, KC has runners on second and third, and the batter will be Escobar.
Hit it hard. Bray made a nice stab at it, knocked it down. Short hop, nearly ate him up. Cedeno was there in plenty of time. Peck away here. You know what? Dozier saw a lot of cutters from Cedeno in here. He can look inside.
It all started with the base hit by Duda. And a 10-pitch walk by Dozier.
Yep, Sanchez, the third baseman, he's in. Eski can turn and burn just like Bonifacio did.
Ooh, he took a mighty rip.
He tried to turn on it.
With it cutting in, why do you have to try and pull it?
Well, you know,
it's going to be.
It's an easier pitch for you to, unless you just are going up there and the situation calls for you to hit the ball to right. But right now, Eski, he likes to turn on balls, and that's where he's pitching. You open up and cheat a little bit, but you got to be, it's got to be yours.
No, I was just thinking with the ball cutting already in on you and pulling the ball, the best you're probably going to be able to do is hit it foul.
If it's in, if it's way in. If he makes a mistake and leaves it out there, then you turn on it. Those balls that are in like that you foul them off your ankle. See, he's doing a good job. Eski is. He wants to pull, but not those. And Cedeno, he's teasing him in there with it. They miss. When you miss, you get it. Ooh, good take. Another good take by Eski.
3-1.
Yeah, that was a good take. And like James Shields said earlier in the game, I'm sure Cedeno saying he was supposed to swing at that, but he didn't. Mondesi on deck.
Bob scrambling is Sanchez. He'll have no play.
Okay. There was the pull shot. He just, couldn't get it by him. But Sanchez had a routine play. He backed up on it. And sometimes when you let that ball play you like that, you clank it.
So Duda scores to make it a 2-run deficit.
Yeah, it's 10th there. That ball, he had plenty of chance. But see how he was backing up as he was fielding it? Just a lot of times that happens. Here it is again. Watch it. See, he stopped to back up, and he had it right in his glove. Hey, take advantage of it here.
Now Mondesi, the batter.
Mondesi had a big hit in Milwaukee off a left-hander. That left-hander was one of the best in the business. Let's see if he can get it off of Xavier Cedeno. Yeah, see now Cedeno's going to try to put that ball in there just like he did Escobar, and Mondesi, with not as much experience, may swing at those. He did the first one.
Garcia will make the catch. The Royals will not go. He has a terrific arm. Cut off by Anderson, and both Escobar and Dozier have to stay put. Now we'll see a right-hander come out of the bullpen to face Whit Merrifield. So mix and match here in the late innings. We're in the 8th. Royals trailing by 2 runs. Genmar Gomez will be coming on. TV. You can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Royals. Whit Merrifield will face Genmar Gomez, who just got called up on Wednesday. This was last year with the Philadelphia Phillies. 18 games, had a rather high ERA.
Yep, looks like he had a little bit too much in the middle of the plate, Fizz.
Yeah, 7 home runs and 22 1/3.
Yeah. Now he's 6'4", 220. Or excuse me, 6'3", 215. Got a hard fastball, not overpowering though. He likes to sink it, and he's got a slider changeup with some split finger action.
He had a lot of success down at AAA, going 5-0 with a 2.03 ERA. 35 strikeouts in 30 games. Strike one. Starts off Whit with a off-speed pitch.
86 to 93. 2 and 4 seam fastballs. One sinks, one stays straight.
Been with a lot of different organizations: Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. Milwaukee.
Yeah, he's 30 years old.
1 ball, 1 strike.
He's going to try to get Witt on a little breaking ball. Try to get him to reach.
Dozier second, Escobar first. 2 out. 1 run in on the error. Ooh, just barely clipped the outside corner. I'm not sure if Witt approved of that call by Tim Timmons.
Oh, well, you know what? Just want to keep the line moving here. He's got 5 homers. 1 of those are against a right-handed pitcher, but he don't have to leave the yard. I mean, it'd be nice. Give him the lead, but Bonifacio's on deck. Just see if he can find a hole.
Try to take a shot at right field. Had to protect the plate on anything close. Bonifacio had that big hit in the 7th inning, driving in 2. To right field, a base hit. Dozier coming around, the throw by Garcia to the plate. Not in time. Witt comes through, and now he's at second base.
That's it. You know, Witt saw what kind of pitcher that Gomez was, and he was trying to nibble a little bit on the corner, and so he set his sights on that hole, and that's just the kind of hitter he is. He's going to take you that way. He's not going to try to pull the ball. Let's check it out now. There's the first pitch he's seen from the guy. Never faced him before. 84, 86. He's going to come with a 93 right there. That was a good spot for him, but he's staying away from him. And that ball's away. It's off the plate. And look where that one was. That goes to show you it doesn't have to be inside that box to get a good hit. He expanded the zone. Looked like Dozier hurt himself in that picture right there. I don't know what happened. Looked like he maybe he caught his foot on the plate. I'm not sure, but he looked like he was in a little bit of pain. Hopefully he's all right.
Now a base hit gives the Royals the lead.
How about it?
Ball 1.
Let's take a look at this slide here. Hunter Dozier gets up. He looks like, let's see what happened now. See his foot's going hard in the base. No, got it right there. Maybe hard to tell. Get out.
There's a drive. Deep center, Tilson back. And he makes the catch up against the wall. Oh, man. Bonifacio gave it a ride.
I thought he got it. It sounded good. Oh, God, it just didn't stay in here. Nice grab. Bonifacio thought he had an extra base.
and the last 4 years overall. Find yours at your Kansas City area Chevy dealers. And by Sling. Live TV you love, only better. We'll look at downtown Chicago. Royals trail the White Sox by 1-7-6. Whit Merrifield with a clutch hit in that 8th inning to draw the Royals to within 1. Now Kevin McCarthy will try and keep Chicago quiet, facing the middle of their order, Abreu, Polka, and Garcia.
Okay, sinker down. Be careful with Abreu because he's been swinging a good bat tonight. He's hit the ball hard. A couple hits to show for it.
Lined out in the first. Hit it sharply to the second baseman, Whit Merrifield, who got to Forrest at second base in the second, then lined a single to center field in the fourth and homered to left. Now he bangs one to left, and Gordon will get there for out number 1.
But he didn't get all that one. He hit it off the end. Good job by McCarthy with his sinker, slider, change, curve. Those are his pitches. He likes to stay down, and when he's going good, he induces a lot of ground ball outs.
The batter will be Polka, who is 2 for 4 facing Kevin. Here's that good heavy sink on his 2-seamer. And his slider, when it's on, is out. Is down. That's why he gets a 63% ground ball rate, second among American League relievers and the 6th best mark in the major leagues.
Nice. Then work it down.
Two balls, 1 strike. Former Royal Joakim Soria will be ready for the 9th inning. If the score stays as is or within 3. In there for a strike and a 3-2 count. We have seen a bundle of those tonight. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, nobody on. Chicago by 1 in the bottom of the 8th. And it clips off the glove of the diving Dozier down the line. Bonifacio with a quick throw. Safe. Polka with his 3rd hit of the game.
Polka, you know, he doesn't look like he's very slow of foot either. He's not just a slow guy. He got down that line well and turned that into a double, a leg double. Let's check out Dozier. Dozier, that ball was hit hard too, scalded just off the heel of his glove. He had the distance covered. Just hit the wrong part of his glove. Mondesi trying a little back, spinning back tag. Almost got him. It's a good try.
And the pinch runner will be Adam Engel.
One out. Engel knows. He's checking out the outfielders, seeing where they're playing.
Bayori Garcia is 3 for 4 in the night. Triple shy of the cycle. Doubled in 2 runs in the first. Singled, scored in the 3rd. Homered in the 6th.
This doesn't look like a good triples park to me. It's a bandbox.
Although Yomer Sanchez leads the major leagues in triples with 9.
I wonder how many of those he's gotten in this yard.
That's a good point. Let's see here. They have
It's right down the line, you know, right field line. You possibly could get it.
soft liner to Witt, and then he looked at second base, and the runner saw the situation, was able to scramble back in time.
Yeah, you got to freeze on a liner, less than 2 outs.
White Sox 7 runs, 13 hits. Royals 6 runs, 7 hits. McCarthy trying to get that final out, facing the red hot Narvaez, who's hitting over 400 since June 1st. Ball, 1 strike.
Pretty good spot right there.
Hit well. And Bonifacio will not reach this one as Omar Narvaez bangs a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 8th.
Talked about Omar Narvaez before the game about how he hits that fastball, and there's one right down the middle. He's not going to miss it. 40.3% line drive rate on fastballs, second highest in Major League Baseball, to Joey Votto. He didn't miss it.
It's the 3rd home run by Chicago tonight. One by Abreu, one by Garcia, now one by Narvaez. The Royals, who had done a great job climbing back in this game, now have made it more difficult on themselves, trailing by 3. 3 outs to go. Merrifield gets Anderson. Had a double clutch because he lost the grip on the baseball. Moustakas, Perez, and Duda coming up.
But first, the Royals will try to mount a comeback. They've got some work to do after the game. Jeff Montgomery, Joel Goldberg, we will break it down, looking for more runs on a night where, once again, the Royals offense has shown some really positive signs, but Brad Keller struggled. as did many of the other pitchers. Offense finally clicking into better gear. The pitching has taken a step backward. Hopefully they can come out with the win. We've got it coming up on Boulevard Royals Live.
Thank you very much, Joel. And unfortunately, Joakim Soria will face the Royals not just leading by 1 run, but leading by 3 after that 2-run home run by Narvaez. And now Moustakas, his job just somehow get on base.
That's right. Soria having a good season this year. He's going to give the fastball, slider, curve, change, split finger. He's got a bunch of pitches. They know it. It's coming right after Moose here.
A ball and a strike, and Soria has pitched very well lately. Overall, a 2.83 ERA with 13 saves, but only 2 earned runs allowed in his last 20 2/3 innings.
Yep, he's had a good year this year.
That covers the last 21 games. What a play. Mike snapped at the bat as if he wanted that pitch back and take another swing at it.
Yeah, he wants that straight one.
Soria has that good splitty.
He can leave it up.
That would be nice. Mike fights it off. A fastball in on his hands. Soria, the veteran, 34 years of age now. 217 career saves, and his best work came with Kansas City some 10 years ago. Twice he had over 40 saves with the Royals. Ball hit to center field, but Tilson will reach this one, and there's 1 out. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Royals Baseball Club. Perez tonight is 1 for 3. He does have a sacrifice fly that drove in his 39th run and singled in the 6th inning. And a reminder, we'll be back with you in about 12 hours. 13 hours, because at 12:30 Joel and Monty will come on with the pregame show. 1:10 first pitch back here at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago. Salvi barely got a piece of that one. He's chasing a lot of pitches off the plate with a pitcher having a favorable count. He may work off the plate and not have to throw him a strike. Came into him that time with the fastball. Chases the breaking ball in the dirt and strikes out. Soria gets out number 2.
He kind of set him up, didn't he? He kind of went hard early and then soft away late. Soria's he's smart. He's not a closer that's going to blow you away. He's going to try to out finesse you.
So the Royals down to their last out, and that man is Lucas Duda, who's been on twice with a walk and a single. Strike one. Strike two. And strike three called. White Sox win it 9-6. James Shields over Brad Keller, and Joaquim Soria picks up save number 14. Good night for that man Garcia. Well, a triple shy of the cycle.